Hey everyone, welcome. Thanks so much for being here today and joining us with an introduction to Minecraft. I know we have some individuals out there that have played Minecraft before, but then we have a handful of you that this might be your first time. And that's who we're going to really try to work with today, is just getting you up to speed and understanding Minecraft a little bit more thoroughly, so you can build and create and craft in Minecraft in class, which is so amazing that you can do this while learning and while in school. So thanks again for being here today. We're going to start off in about 6 or 7 minutes, but we just want to give you a beginning and a little sort of introduction on just have some fun. Basically, we want you to answer some questions for us that we have. And we have a form for you to fill out. This is how we want you to communicate with us today. We want you to go to thecc.page/startmee for Minecraft Education Edition, or Start Me, and you'll be able to communicate with myself and my colleague Amar, who will introduce himself in just a minute or so. But we want you to head over to thecc.page/startme and answer some of our questions. And we're going to have a handful of these questions throughout today, but this is just our warm-up. And right now, it looks like we have about 70 different classes online with us. So that's amazing. That's 70 classes times like 20 kids minimum in each class, maybe more. We're looking at a few hundred students that we're working with today, which is great. And we want to hear from all of you. So our first question is, what do you think of when you hear Minecraft? What's the first thing you think of? That's a great question. Amar came up with these questions. So that's a really good question, Amar. And the question is, what do you think of when you hear the word or the term Minecraft? Now send your answer in to thecc.page/startme, like Samantha and Raina and Gwen. Gwen thinks of when she hears Minecraft, it's fun. Awesome, Gwen. Connor thinks of building blocks. Awesome. Morley, I think of fun because I really enjoy the game and have lots of fun with it and friends, or even alone. Tanaka thinks of it as a popular video game, and you're right, it is a popular video game. At one point, it was the most popular video game in the world with over 100 million users daily, which is pretty wild that we have that many people playing. And it's really nice because we have so much of a community here in Minecraft that we can do different things. And what we've done is we've made Minecraft an education edition so that you can bring it into your classroom and that you can do things in class and show your teacher all of your cool learning and all of the interesting stuff that you're able to do and share and showcase for your classmates and your teachers. So awesome. I love seeing some of these answers come through. I think we're ready for another question.
Merrick mentions that he thinks about mining and crafting. And that's what I do as well. I just break the word in half, and that's what came to my mind too. Cool.
Awesome. And I liked how we had Madame Stewart's class from Barrie, Ontario, chiming in. And that she's mentioned that it's her son's favorite game, and that we have a 7-8 class. Her 7-8 class is online right now with us, so that's great. And Miss Amanda's joined us. Thanks, Miss Amanda, who's building and creating a village. Perfect. So here's your next question, everybody. Why do you like survival or creative mode in Minecraft, and why? Why do you like them? What's the difference between the two, maybe? And maybe some of you have no idea because this could be your first time. So maybe some of those experienced players out there can help with our newbies and tell us why they like survival or creative the most. And I see some questions coming in, like, or some responses like they've never played before, or they're not too familiar with the game. And that's okay. We're just here for some fun today. And I can see now that Devin's responded, I like creative because you can build with everything. You're right, Devin. That's the best thing about creative mode, is that you can build with everything. And then JL likes survivals because you can speed run through the game. And William has not tried survival mode yet, which is totally fine. I personally think that creative mode, especially in class and at school, is probably the best thing for us, because we have all this unlimited inventory and we don't have to spend too much time mining for different things. But a part of me really does like to mine and likes to craft and likes to build things together. So I think there's some benefits for both, but it's important, and we're going to talk about today how you can switch between survival, creative, adventure mode. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit today.
I like Tanaka's answer. They like to play with their siblings in survival. That cooperative aspect of survival is pretty cool. Works in creative as well. I gotta agree with you, Coulter. Creative's my favorite just because survival's a little challenging for me, not gonna lie.
Awesome. And I can see so many different responses coming through here. It looks like some people are super excited to play today. Omani, that's great that you're here, and we love that you're here and wanting to play with us and build and craft in Minecraft, because it is, you're right, it is such a cool game, and it is such a surprise that you can do this in class. So we're excited that you're excited to play today, Omani. And the last question is, what is your favorite material to build with in Minecraft and why? What's your favorite material to build with in Minecraft? And why? Amar, do you have a favorite material to build with in Minecraft?
I don't, but what I really want to explore using more, because I've seen students using it a lot, is slime. I need to play around a lot more with slime. It looks like a really fun material for jumping. How about you, Coulter? What's your favorite material?
I like doing things with redstone. I like creating some different tools and some different, what are they called? Well, I like using my elements to create different items in Minecraft. So using the chemistry world. So a lot of you might not be familiar with that because you might have never played before, but we have a chemistry world, and it's so cool because you can combine some sodium acetate and some water, and you can make snowballs. And then if you incorporated redstone, you can start throwing the snowballs. So it's pretty cool. I like doing that. That's usually my favorite thing to showcase and to show students how to do. But there's so many cool tools, like Israel's mentioned theirs, and Ken likes the blue concrete. I like it, Ken. Great. I love the blue concrete too. Ethan, awesome. Dalton, thank you for chiming in. And William and Sierra and Samantha and Aaron and Martina. Wow, all these answers. Martina, quartz or wood, because they look so good on houses. You're right. Yeah. And Callum. And there's so many answers coming through because right now we have almost 200 classes online together and building with us today. So that's great. So I think it's time that we got started. My name is Coulter, and I am from Niagara Falls, Ontario. I grew up there, and I spend a lot of time in Niagara still, and I spend time between Niagara and Toronto. And I have with me on the line here is Amar, and Amar and I have actually been colleagues working with Microsoft and working with Minecraft over the past 4 years, and it's gone by so fast, Amar. But I know Amar and I are both super excited to say that we're officially, I mean, we get paid to play Minecraft. We're professional Minecraft players, which is amazing that we get to actually say that. So, Amar, if you just want to chime in and say hello so they know what you're doing today behind the scenes.
Hey everyone, my name's Amar. I'm going to be behind the scenes. If you have any questions, drop it in the Q&A. Or if you're a student, especially send it through the form. I can see everything and I can always get Coulter's attention. Teachers, use the Q&A and I can send you a direct response in there. Coulter, back to you.
Yeah, that's really important to know that. Teachers, if you have any questions, you need some help troubleshooting, throw a question in the Q&A in the Teams live event, and we'll be able to answer those for you directly. Okay. I would like to make sure that we do a land acknowledgement and recognize that where we're coming from and the treaties and the lands that we've settled on here. I think it's super important and very valuable for you as students to know that where we're coming from and again, the lands that we're on. Myself and Amar, we're both on the Mississaugas of the Credit, and we are privileged and proud to be on their land. And we both have actually are on the treaty, on Treaty 13. So I've got a link here, native-land.ca, and I encourage you to find what land you're on and what treaty you're a part of. our goal today, we're just going to be building in Minecraft. We're going to have some fun. I'm going to show you some cool tools. We want to visit a new world today because in the education edition, there's tons of worlds and tons of lessons and tons of cool things to explore that you might not know that you could do. Okay, and then we want to really make sure that you feel comfortable with your world settings. Okay, and make sure that you know how to change your world settings. So that's our goal for today. While we're still chatting away here right now, I want you to head over to Minecraft, to sign in, log in, set it up, get ready to go. Use your student email account to log into your Minecraft account. Now, most schools and most, I would say a majority of us on the call today will have access to this because your school has the license. But sometimes your school doesn't have that license. It's okay. You're still going to get 15 free trials right now. So you'll be able to use this no matter what for 15 times. And today could be your first. So head on over, sign in, log in, and head on over to this home screen where we are going to get started in just a moment. Now, if you are super familiar with Minecraft and you know you're like, Coulter, I know this. Come on, pal, move it along, speed it up. I still want you to just be with me for another minute or two because I want you to make sure that you can explore these home screens. Okay, I want you to make sure that you can explore a few of these options. And because it's important that you see that and that when I leave this call today, and you leave the call, you can do this and you can even be a leader in your classroom and show everybody what to do and where to go because you'll have that background knowledge of this. On this home screen, you have a few things. You have the new and featured button here. It's the second one down. And this is really nice because it just allows you to see anything that has been populated to the program. So it's really nice and easy just to go in if you just want to have some fun. Right, kids, we can just go in and just explore, and that's what Minecraft is just a time to explore and to share and really to just enjoy being in a world and learning as we are navigating through that world. But today I wanted to go into play. So we're going to click on play. And usually for first-time users, I would recommend going to create new and then templates and blocks of grass. We're not going to do that today. You're going to follow along with me in a different world. But if you're on your own, you might want to just check out blocks of grass just to feel comfortable with moving and building. But I promise you, I'm going to guide you today to at least get that started. And the reason blocks of grass is good is because it's just flat. So it's really difficult to get lost. You can see here we got the woods and the mountains on this screen here. This is going to be in an infinite world, not a flat world. And this infinite world has just got some more land features. And you can always join those. You can always go into that if you'd like. But we have this really powerful, really cool thing for students that you can go into the library. You can go in here, and if you click on View Library, you've got so many different options to explore and to learn from. And it's so cool. Even just like some of the basic ones that that are just like, for example, this one here in the biomes and worlds, going into biomes. And if I clicked on the where's the warm water one? Down here at the bottom, the warm water ocean biome is so cool just to swim around. We've got the nether biome, so you've got tons of different settings to go into. But today, and you'll maybe have some time to explore those on your own, but today, I want us to actually go into a monthly build challenge. So we can go into the monthly build challenge. You can also at any time go and explore some lessons and some subjects. But today, we want to go into the monthly build challenge. So from the home screen, I clicked on play, view library, and then monthly build challenge. And you're going to get a few different options here, and these change periodically to get different ones. The classic book cover's been there for a bit, which is great. Okay, and you can see there's tons of cool build challenges that you can use in Minecraft and just enjoy yourself as you create and as you craft. But today, I want us to check out this architecture one, because you're going to learn to build today. You're going to learn to navigate and move, and that's the basics of Minecraft, and that's what we're here to do. So if you clicked on architecture and then create world. So I'm starting this world, it's importing. So I just clicked on create new, and it's going to take me a second to load my world, mainly because it knows that I'm presenting to so many students out there right now that it's just going to take its time. But as it does take its time, it has these little snippets of loading pack resources. And I encourage you to read those as they pop up on the screen, because you're always going to learn something new. Minecraft always, see right there, looking for a specific biome, try the library, right? We can always find something that might be a little bit new or unfamiliar to us. So I encourage you to read these things here. And it says, in creative mode, players can freely choose to build from any of the blocks in Minecraft. And that's what we're going to be in today. We're going to be in a creative mode. But I want to show you how you can bounce back and forth between creative and survival. And even the third option, which is adventure mode. So now that my world is loaded, I can see that I'm just standing right here in front of the Pantheon, I'm guessing, or a replica of some kind. Pretty cool little building that's been built. And I got lots of space here, and that's what's important, is that I got lots of space to be building today. So the first thing is, how do we move? And you can see on my screen, it says H, show control. So I want everyone to press the letter H. And on the left-hand side, up pops my options to move. And I want to make sure that we have good gamer posture. So my left hand, my left ring finger, the finger next to my pinky, is going to go on the W. And I can move forward. The D is to move back. My pinky is on the A, and I go left. And my middle finger is on the D, and I go right. And if I move my mouse around, I can view, and that's how I see and sort of aim where I want to go. Now, maybe you're on a trackpad, so you can do that the same thing with your trackpad. You can move your mouse around. Or maybe you're on an iPad. And if you're on an iPad, on the left-hand side, you're going to be able to see some controls to move up and down. You'll see some arrows. And you should see those arrows to move up and down and left and right. And we also want to fly, too. So if you're on a computer, you can press the space bar twice, and it'll let you fly. But if you're on an iPad, make sure that you click on that little diamond item there. You click on that, and then you'll get the options to jump higher and lower. Or fly, sorry. You'll get the options to fly. Okay? That's how we move around. Those are the basic movements. Now we want to start placing some blocks down. But because we're all on different computers, you might have different controls to place a block. For example, I'm on a MacBook right now, and I have to give my snake fangs two-finger tap on the keyboard to place a block. And Amar is on a PC. He just needs to right-click on his trackpad to place a block. So we all have different settings here. And I think it's important that you know how to go into your settings and change your controls. And I would always encourage you to have, for me, what works well is my right-click is my placing of the block, or my left click is the placing of the block. And I have a letter sometimes that allows me to destroy the block. Let's get our understanding of our settings and our control settings. So I press the escape button on my keyboard. ESC on my keyboard, top left on the keys. If you're on an iPad, you can press the pause button at the top, and that will bring you into your settings. However, on an iPad, to place a block or destroy a block, you just touch your screen. And if you want to destroy something, you hold your finger on the screen a little bit longer. So in my settings, I press escape, I go to settings, and then I can click on keyboard and mouse. And when I click on keyboard and mouse, I have some options here to change my settings. So I have this, and the two things that I want to do really is change this destroy button and this place block button. So right now I have button 1 and 2, but I'm using a mouse, so it's really easy for me. But if you're on a Chromebook or a MacBook, it can be a little bit more challenging because that two-finger tap. So we might want to change this. So maybe button 1, which is going to be your left click on your Chromebook, maybe we want to change that to a letter. Because if we make it a letter, we have to be cognizant, meaning we have to be mindful of actually pressing that letter to destroy something. So we don't accidentally destroy it, because in Minecraft, There's no undo button, which is amazing. It just means that if you break it, you bought it. That's it. You can't undo it. You can't go back, and that's totally cool because we want to be making a little bit of mistakes if we do, and we want to be able to keep our creative minds. If we do make a mistake, how we can go back and change that. So I want to make sure that that turns into the letter P, and if I want to place a block on my Chromebook, I'm going to want that to be button 1. So I click it with my left button. I click left so it turns yellow, and then I click it again so it makes sure that it turns to button 1. Now on my computer, because I have button 1 and 2, I prefer that because I'm using a mouse and this is what I'm used to. But it's important that you know where these are to change your keyboard if you need to. So again, I pressed escape on my keyboard, ESC, top left, settings, keyboard and mouse, and then I changed my keyboard and mouse. Let's get building. So the first thing to do to start getting some blocks, and if you look on the left-hand side, we can see that E stands for inventory. Here comes the rain in my room or in my world. That's okay. If I clicked on E for inventory, I can get some blocks here. So I have a few different types of blocks, and it's just a drag and drop. I have this toolbar that's empty right now, and I want to put things in my toolbar. So I just click on the block and I drag it down to my toolbar. Click on the block, put it into my toolbar. Click on the block, and it's a drag and drop or a click and a click, right? And for beginners, I just want you to use one of the first 6 items here, mainly because we're going to talk about these other items, the walls, the fences, the stairs, the doors. We'll talk about those, but for right now, for your first task in Minecraft, it's so much easier for you just to be building with a regular cubed shaped block. And if you want to know how big they are, actually, does anyone know how big they are? How we scale it in Minecraft? How large is that block? Does anyone know? What I want us to do is click and click, place a block down, one of these first 6 ones, into our toolbar, head back to our world. Now it's raining and nighttime. Oh, so I can change this, and don't worry if you want to learn how to change it. It's quite simple. I need to press enter, and it brings me to my commands, and I can click on this slash bar. I wasn't going to do it because it's raining and because it's dark. I'm going to need to do it. I want to change the time to day. I'll do sunrise so I get more time there. And then if I want to change the weather, I press enter again. There's that slash command. I go to weather, and it's clear. And there are some options that we can do this in our settings, and maybe we'll go through our settings a little bit more thoroughly in about 15, 20 minutes, and we'll talk about how you can change to perfect weather and to always day, so you don't have to come into those problems where it gets really dark out at night. So from here, we're going to want to go and place our first blocks. And your task today is next to this awesome architecture, next to this awesome structure here, we're going to want to build a little small, maybe a home or a souvenir shop or something to help accentuate this and add to this build. So we're going to want to add another build. And the first thing that I would do, especially for beginners, is just to do a rectangle. And I would do a rectangle or a square that is 10 by 10, meaning 10 blocks length and then 10 blocks in width. And that just makes sure that we can complete this build by the time we're done today. And the way that we do it is that you can see I'm starting to place some blocks, but we need to look at the ground first. And we can see that there's an outline, there's a black outline. And if I see that outline, I can place a block. Now, if I don't see that outline, like here, I can press it as many times as I want and nothing's going to happen. So I need to see that outline, and as soon as I see that outline, I can place the block. And as soon as you see that outline, on the right-hand side of your screen, you'll see the controls to place a block or to mine a block. So you can see on my screen, it's the right click. So again, I've aimed my little trackpad there, that little aiming tool. I right click to place, I left click to destroy. Right click to place, left click destroy. Now, that's me. Your controls might be a little bit different. For right now, I'm going to actually give us some build time. So I'm going to give us a little bit of build time for you to just start with your basic structure here. Just to get familiar with walking around, placing your blocks. Maybe even you want to fly up a little bit. And if you fly up, you can start building your walls. But we're going to start wanting to build this basic structure, 10 by 10. And the reason we want 10 by 10 is because we have a little bit of time today, but not too much time. So I want to make sure that you can build it. I'm going to give you some tasks to do things in your structure or your home or whatever you decided to build. Now, if there's some experts on the call, I'm expecting a top-notch type structure. I want to see maybe some redstone in there. I maybe want to see some pressure plates, maybe some trapdoors. But there's no pressure. You can build and just have fun with us today. This is a introduction to Minecraft, so we want to make sure that everyone feels comfortable placing down blocks and navigating through their world. So I'm going to set my timer. If you have any questions, we will be free to answer those in our forum. And I'm going to try to go as quiet as I can right now. I'm even going to mute myself to give you that build time of quiet and focused build. So you have about About a minute left for this initial building time. And there's our first timer. Awesome. So no matter where you are, it doesn't matter. Just stop what you're doing. If you are expert builders and you know how to do some of these things, that's great. You can keep building along, and I can't wait for you to help your classmates and share with them. You're able to start doing some other things with your inventory. So let's go into our inventory. So how about you stop what you're doing and just watch my screen for 2 seconds, and then I'm going to let you do it on your own. So I press E for inventory. And from here, I find my door. I'm going to put a door in. So I can use this. My point right now to show you is that we can search for things in our inventory. So I can search for the door. I can search for something maybe color specific. So if I want, say, blue, maybe I want some snow. Maybe it's ice time. Maybe I want some windows. So I type in windows. Oh, but Windows doesn't come up. Closer, why not? It's because sometimes in Minecraft, what we want just might be labeled something different. So what are windows made of? We got windows made of glass. We'll type in glass. Maybe we want some water for our pond that we're building or a moat that we're building. Okay, so right now, your task is to go in and find a door. Now, the doors are a little tricky because in Minecraft, they've got a few doors that are quite heavy and we're unable to actually open them, like the iron door. You'll need a couple tricks to open the iron door. Does anyone know those tricks? If you know those tricks, answer in our forum. How do you open an iron door in Minecraft? And if you don't know the trick, I want you to just grab a wood door, like an oak door or a birch door, jungle door. Okay, grab one of those doors, put it in your toolbar, head on back, and you can press numbers 1 to 9 to get through the different items in your task in your toolbar. And once you find that item, place it down and place your doors down. To open the door, you can walk up to it and right click and it'll open the door for you. And I'm raining again. So I'm going to press enter. I'm going to click on the slash. I'm going to change the weather to clear again. I'm going to show you soon on how to make it clear weather and even always day because it's starting to get dark again for me. So head on in, grab that door from your inventory and place a door down. You can also, again, sift through your toolbar at the bottom by pressing numbers 1 to 9, or if you're using a mouse like myself, you can scroll your finger up and down on that wheel. And if you finish placing your door, you can keep building your home. And I'm going to give you another task in about a minute. Well, I had a good question that came through the chat here. How do you change your settings? Your mouse is really sensitive. Yeah, the mouse can be really sensitive. It can make you a little dizzy, right? So we press escape on our keyboard to settings. Or if you're on the iPad, you press pause. So if you're wanting to just see how you can change your settings, and this is so important, is that we get familiar with our settings today. So escape, settings, and then I can change, I go to keyboard and mouse, and I change the sensitivity. It's at the top there. and it's probably going to be set to 60. I bet you the default is going to be 60 on your screen. I like mine around 15, 14, somewhere around there. 14 for good luck. Okay, so that was your build time for your door. But if you need another moment, that's okay. But I just wanted to show you that's how you do your sensitivity. So your next task, now that you've got your house there, we want to go into our inventory and we want to find some windows. So we want to put some glass or some glass panes in there as well. We can do one of each, get 4 windows there. So I'll go to inventory, E for inventory. Type in glass, and I get 2 options here. I get a glass brick or I get a glass pane. And we can see the difference here if I place them both down. I can go over here, I can right click, and I can right click, and I can right click. Okay, and that's just putting some glass in there. I see the answer has come through. What do you do if you have an iron door? You're right, you need to put a button or a lever or even a pressure plate. Thank you, William, for chiming in and letting us know.
I like how those different glass panels, like you have a full glass cube, or you can have the pane. And I love that because depending on what you want to build, if you want to make it a little bit thinner, you have a little bit of option. Play around with the blocks because there's a lot of customizability with those blocks. You'll discover that with time. In the beginning, use those cubes. They're the easiest. And slowly, you're going to learn how to use those doors and everything else. That's awesome.
Now I'm going to start building the roof to my home. I'm going to just place a little base layer down here. Now, roofs are a little bit tricky, aren't they, Amar?
Yeah, I was going to say you're doing a good job of flying in the air, aiming for the top. And I liked how you started building from the sides because you can't build in the middle of the air. So first you build it up and then you attach it to the side of that. Just like you're doing right now on that screen. That's nice.
I'm going to start building this blocks, but maybe I want a roof that has a bit of a slope. Maybe I want a traditional roof, like a triangle roof. How do I make that, Amar? How do I make a triangular roof?
Have you ever tried using a stairway?
And that is the correct answer. We use stairways. Amar and I like playing off one another. So yeah, we're going to use the stairway. If you want to start creating a triangular roof, you can use some stairs. Now it's a little bit more challenging, and it can be a little bit more difficult, especially for this beginner's lesson. But if you are a little bit more advanced and you want to try your staircase, and I can show you what it's going to start looking like. I just want to put a little base down. I go into my inventory. I can type in stairs, or I can see that the stairs are already there. I'm going to do the mossy stone. Let's do the mossy one.
That's a good one.
Okay, and then I just start on the outside, and I start placing those down. And then you'll see eventually I can start. You go around here. Notice it changed right away, that stair there. I made a little nice little divot there. Now I don't actually have to have that base layer of roof below me. I just did that because, well, I felt like it. And that's what Minecraft is sometimes. Is I feel like doing this, so I'm going to do it. And it allows us to be creative, is what it does, right, Amar? Like, oh well, I want.
You can build it.
Yeah. So you can get your glass there. You've got your staircase. You've got your you've got a roof that we're starting to build. But now it keeps raining, and I think it's time because I'm getting frustrated with the rain. I think it's time. Now, rain is great sometimes, right? Rain is really important for us, and it's really vital to success of our crops if we're building some crops. But for today's purposes, I don't really want it to rain. So how do I do that? Where do I go? And if your answer is, oh, you go into the settings, you are correct. We're going to need to go into our settings. So what do we press to get to our settings?
I think it starts with an E and an S and a C.
You're right. We're going to press escape on our keyboard, top left. If you're on a Chromebook, you can press the pause button on the Chromebook, top middle of your screen. Press that and get into your settings. So you can see even myself, when I tell people to stop building and playing, I still keep doing it. So I need to stop. So my hands are off the computer and I'm going to press escape. And I think everybody should do that right now. No matter where you are, pause your game. Follow me. I'm going to change a couple settings for you. And these are super important, especially if you take more lessons from us in the next month with Cobblestone. And I think it's important that you see these because you're going to, if you join some of these lessons, you're going to join in some specific worlds where you're not able to build. And then we're going to say, okay, we want you to build, and you'll know how to do it like that. So we're going to go to settings. And the first thing I want to do here in my game settings, by default, I'm prompted into my game settings. And it says here default game mode. So my default game mode is at creative right now, but sometimes you'll be in adventure modes. Sometimes you'll be in survival modes. Why don't we try a survival mode out right now? See what happens. So let's change from creative to survival.
You just made a lot of students happy, Coulter.
And then we're going to scroll down. We're going to keep scrolling down on the right-hand side. And we're going to change a few things. We're going to change, if you scroll down, so my world is, my Minecraft is recently updated. Like we're talking last night. So yours might not look like mine, okay? But if you scroll down on the right-hand side, game settings, you're going to see something that says classroom. Classroom settings. Now, classroom settings on mine is its own separate button here. But on yours, it could be in the game on the right-hand side. Scroll on down, and you'll see the settings. And you can see classroom settings, and you'll be able to turn on always day and perfect weather. There's going to be two options there, and we want to put those to the right-hand side. And that will allow you to just be a little bit more comfortable without having to worry about the rain and the weather. Okay, so again, we went from our home screen here. I pressed escape or pause on my Mac or my iPad. I went to settings. I clicked on the default game mode. I changed that to survival. And then I scrolled down and I found my classroom settings where I was able to open up the classroom settings and turn on perfect weather and always day.
So F5 is a good option. If you're getting motion sickness and you just need to take a lot of breaks, try pressing F5 on your keyboard and see how it's different. Not gonna lie, like Coulter said, it is more difficult to build with, but it might just help you.
Yeah, I can remember when I was just starting off in Minecraft. I preferred the third person view as opposed to the first person view.
Coulter, can I help you develop some street cred right now? Instead of doing what you're doing, just aim for the side of that stair and just build it there. Just keep moving and hitting that side, and you don't need to build all that bottom pieces. Boom, and keep going. You gotta just work on the angle. That'll fix it, but that'll come with time. Okay, we'll practice later.
My roofs are the most painful things for me to do, and that's okay. This is if I had a question on what's the one thing that you don't like building in Minecraft, it's a triangular roof. And it's because of this Amar, and it's because I tend to shy away from it, that it takes me some time. But you're right, there is that quick hack that I could just be putting on the side that I forget because I don't often build the full roof.
Well, here's the thing for you, Coulter. Take a look at that building behind you. I love how they built a triangular roof, but they built it with a little bit more of a jag to it. but it still works depending on like what you're comfortable with and your skill. You don't have to use the stairs. And that's what I like about Minecraft. It's all about your skill, your customizability, and what you're comfortable with. See, they're using full blocks, but it still kind of looks like a triangle.
When my roof's done, it's going to be better. Okay, so I'm getting close to being, well, I'm getting there, but we're all getting there, right? We're all sort of taking our time and just getting familiar with building our homes or whatever structure you decide to build. But now we want to talk about some of these other tools in our inventory. So we've covered a lot so far. We've covered our windows, we've covered our walls, we've covered our doors, we've covered a couple really important tools that are going to help us build in Minecraft. Now, what I would like to do is just show you this one really cool tool that we can use. And it's called we can use, it's one of our writing tools. So I want you to label whatever you built or put a little sign there. So we go to inventory and I type in sign. I can see that I've got a bunch of signs there. I can grab a sign and I place it in my toolbar. Maybe I don't need some of these things in my toolbar anymore, so I remove them to keep it organized. And now I've got my sign and I can put it there and it can say, welcome to Casa del Colts. And there's my sign. Really nice for labeling things, really nice for telling us about your build. And if you need a little bit more space, you can always find a poster or a board to do these things. So we have about 10 minutes left. And I'm just showing you some pretty cool tools that you can use to help build. If you have any questions, again, feel free to post those in the chat or in the forum. And I can write a little description about my house. Okay. So what I would like to show is that some of these worlds that we're in, as we walk around and we sort of navigate through some of these things, we have some really cool characters that we can find. So we can have these characters. Now this one is just built. It doesn't look like it's an NPC, but we have these NPC characters inside of our Minecraft world. And if you ever see an NPC, ever see one of these characters, I encourage you to go and talk to them. So we can use these NPC characters to really help with our builds and really help learn in Minecraft. Now, in this particular world that we're all in, you won't see that. But if you go into other worlds, you are going to see that you have these characters that will give you instructions and they will provide you maybe some more information, and you are going to be able to interact with them. Now, this is the next level type thing, but it's important that if you ever run into one of these, you can always go up to them, right click, and have a little chat with them. You can always use the immersive reader function, which will help you read what is on these boards or what is the NPCs have to say. So if I walked up to an NPC, I can always press this little speech bubble here with the book, sorry, not speech bubble, the book with the microphone. And it puts it into immersive reader for me, and it will read what I have to say. Which is really a nice tool
Welcome to our world.
Now, if I was doing this on the board, that button doesn't appear that Culture uses to get to Immersive Reader. You just look at that board and press I, and it's going to start up, just like it with the NPC.
So
On the I think the button does appear.
If you place with one of your boards down, or your signs, you can walk up to it and press the letter I. And I'll read that to you.
This is my wonderful home. It is still a work in progress as I need to call the roofers over, smiley face.
Culture, English is not my first language. I'm a lot better with Urdu. Is there anything you can do for me? Because I can understand it much better if you do that.
Definitely, Mar. So this feature also has the translation function. So you can always go into Immersive Reader, click on the book in the top right, and have that translated into a different language or a language that you might feel more comfortable in having read to you. And we have Urdu down there, Amar. So I can do by word, or I can do the whole document. And I can have that read back to me. Now, if there's some words that I might not know, and I might need to use what we call a picture dictionary. So I can click on the word, and up pops the picture for me. So it really does help support you as you're writing and as you're reading. So these are some really cool tools that you can find. And if you went into a different world, you're going to see, or a different lesson, you're going to see these NPCs everywhere. You're going to see these boards everywhere. So don't forget you can use that function to help with reading and listening. Okay, and also, if you are in different worlds, sometimes those worlds are going to be in adventure worlds, and you're going to want to build in them. So don't forget to click on Escape, Settings, and change that world from Survival to Creative, or Adventure to Creative. And then head on back, and you should be able to start building again. So we're coming to an end of our workshop today. That was a very fast hour, Amar. I don't know how you felt, but that was really quick for me. And what's important is that we can take away a few of these things that we've done today. And we've done a lot. You've placed your first blocks down. You were able to figure out how to move and fly. You're able to go into your inventory and search for items by using that search bar, and then move those items into your toolbar. We've already done those are the first three things that I've showed you, and we did so much more. And if you need to move them out, you just click and move them out. We also have gotten, hopefully, a little bit more comfortable with our settings. Going into our settings, changing our keyboard and mouse around, checking on our game settings, so if we need to change that default, or even going into our classroom settings, which for you might be on the right-hand side, but for me, because I'm updated, it's going to be there in the classroom settings. And then we even talked about placing, and now this was pretty cool because I didn't expect to get here today, but we were able to talk about placing some boards down or some signs and having to deal with what we do when we run into one of these in a lesson plan, how we can help ourselves by pressing the letter I or going over to our NPC and right-clicking them so we can read what they have to say and what they have to tell us. Because sometimes they're going to give us, we hope that you are able to feel a little bit more comfortable in Minecraft just to get the ball rolling. So thank you so much.
That was great, Coulter. Thank you so much. I know I learned a lot. Hopefully you did as well. Looking forward to the next time we're all together building in Minecraft. Take care. Be safe. Bye.